This discussion is an attempt to answer the question frequently posed by my students: how to become a great learner. How to become a great learner. But before we answer that question, we shall try to understand the nature of the learning process. What happens when learning takes place? What exactly is the learning process? We have the mainstream Western theory of learning called the tabula rasa theory. Tabula rasa means clean slate, and this theory can be found in Aristotle, in St. Thomas Aquinas, in Descartes, and of course in John Locke. Tabula rasa means empty slate or clean slate. The tabula rasa theory holds that the mind of the learner is to begin with an empty slate, and as a result of the learning process, material comes to be recorded on that slate. When the child is born, when the child starts the learning process, its mind is a clean slate, is an empty slate. But as a result of the learning process, material is recorded on that slate. That is to say, the learning process is a process by which material is inscribed on the clean slate. That is the mind of the learner. As a result of the process, material increasingly is recorded on the mind of the learner. In contrast to this, the mainstream Indian theory of learning holds that all knowledge is in the human mind. Knowledge is not something external. Knowledge is not something which is given to the mind from outside. Knowledge is something which is already present in the human mind. It has to be unveiled. It has to be uncovered. Swami Vivekananda says, and I quote, "All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in your own mind." Unquote. I repeat this very powerful quotation. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in your own mind. Now we come to the question, how to become a great learner. There are certain aspects which you have to take care of in order to become a great learner. There is an example that Swami Vivekananda used to give, and perhaps I should have given it earlier myself, and that is the example of Isaac Newton. We say that Newton discovered the theory of gravitation. The theory of gravitation was discovered by Newton when he was sitting under the apple tree and the apple fell on his head. But the theory of gravitation, Swami Vivekananda points out, was neither in the apple nor at the center of the earth. It was in the mind of Newton, and given the right stimulus, unveiled itself. But even Newton would not have discovered the theory of gravitation. Had he not taken care of the aspects that have to be taken care of in order to become a great learner, what are these aspects? The first set of aspects you have to take care of are the physical aspects. Great yogacharyas take care to tell their students that they have to ensure that the physical aspects surrounding their yoga process are appropriate. It may seem trivial that a great yogi should bestow attention on the physical aspects, but it is not so. Yoga will not be successful unless and until the physical conditionalities appropriate to it are met. You should ensure first and foremost, that the physical context in which you position your learning process is appropriate to that learning process. Even when we realize that the physical world is ephemeral, we accept that we have to live in this physical world. Even the greatest spiritual achievements have to be rooted in the physical reality of this world, have to start in the physical reality of this world. You have to ensure that the physical aspects enveloping your learning process are appropriate to it. And these aspects include the location of the learning process, the timings of the learning process, the atmosphere surrounding the learning process. Again, I feel like turning to the story of the Mahabharata. What made Arjuna the favorite student of Dronacharya? What did Drona see in Arjuna what he could not find in the other students? It was dedication. Arjuna was willing to expend any amount of time, effort, energy for his martial pursuits, and thus he became the favorite disciple of Drona. The point I'm trying to make is that nobody can become a great learner without dedication. You must be willing to sacrifice many other things in your life in order to become a great learner. In the Mahabharata, there is the story of Arjuna having his dinner at night in the light of a lamp. A gust of wind blows out the lamp, and Arjuna continues with his dinner. He realizes that he can have his dinner in the dark, and he wonders why he can't shoot in the dark. He starts practicing archery at night in the dark. This is found by Dronacharya, who is overjoyed by Arjuna's dedication and perseverance, and Arjuna becomes the apple of the eye of Dronacharya. The point is that there is nothing that dedication cannot achieve. If you can eat in the dark, why can't you shoot in the dark? You can shoot in the dark if you practice enough, if you practice shooting in the dark enough. Yet again, I feel like drawing inspiration from the story of the Mahabharata. Drona asks his students to shoot a bird. All the students except Arjuna, all the students, including Yudhishthira, including Drona's own son Ashwathama, tell Drona that they can see the tree, they can see so many things, the tree, the branches, the bird. But Arjuna tells Drona that he can see nothing except the bird. Not even the whole bird, only the eye of the bird. And an overjoyed Drona asks him to shoot the bird, and of course he brings down the bird. Focus is very important. Concentration is very important. All your dedication will go waste unless and until your focus is correct. Unless and until you have focus and concentration. Discipline was integral to the life in the Gurukula of ancient India. There was the discipline imposed by the Guru, the loving discipline imposed by the Guru. There was also the self-discipline imposed by the student upon himself. Discipline led to routine, and routine converted learning into a habitual activity. By converting learning into a habitual activity, learning was made easy, even effortless. No learner can abandon discipline and hope to become a great learner. No learner becomes a great learner the day he starts the learning process. Rome was not built in a day. It takes perseverance to convert the learner, to transform the learner into a great learner. There is the immortal exhortation of the Katha Upanishad 1.3.14. Uttishtata jagrata prapyavara nibhotata. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, which was also Swami Vivekananda's clarion call to fellow Indians. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Mentoring. Perhaps I should have mentioned this as the first item in my list. The role of a mentor. Your journey as a learner will certainly become easier under the guidance of a mentor. In fact, in ancient India, it was unthinkable to carry out learning, any kind of learning, learning in any area without the guidance of a guru. But where will you find your guru? There is no easy answer to this question. But as Swami Vivekananda was fond of pointing out, if your desire is all consuming, if your urge is overwhelming, if your thirst is unbearable, your guru will not take too long to appear before you.